Hey, how are
Hi. Good. How are
you?
you?
Good
Long time.
morning.
I know, long time no see. Good to see you, Lindsay.
Me
Hi,
too.
Maria. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Barrett. I wasn't able to join yesterday, so I thought I should join today.
That's perfect. That is perfect. You are always able to do that. I feel like I should tell more people that they can do that. Maybe everyone doesn't know. Yeah. Um, we're at the last week of June. Do you have any vacations planned, anyone, for this summer? I feel like everyone I'm talking to is like, I'll be out next week. Oh, I'll be out of office the following week. And then I can't do that this week. Do you have any,
I
Lindsay
wish I
or
could,
Maria?
but the beaches here are all congested, so I'd rather not.
Oh, a congested beach is not where you want to go on vacation.
I
Yeah.
know.
Well, how about any time off? Are you taking any time off, Maria?
Probably at the end of the year, I'm not planning to have some time off sooner.
Yeah, me too. I have nothing specifically planned off right now. I just feel like a lot is going on. But yeah, if the beach is I like the beach, but not if it's super busy. No, 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 no. How about you, Lindsay?
I actually went on vacation at the beginning of this month with my friend. We went on a cruise, so that's my vacation for this summer.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was really fun. It was my second time going on a cruise. I did have fun, but I think I would prefer to not do it again. I think I like to like plan it myself and do what I want and not like
Mm-hmm.
follow an itinerary. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes like that's it's a very like specific type of vacation where you are
Yeah.
just on that schedule, which sometimes it's good not to think, but sometimes you
Hmm.
want to do it your way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with a one particular cruise line because I was never a cruiser, and my parents didn't take me when I was little or anything, but I discovered the Virgin Voyages cruise line, and I'm obsessed with it now. That's the one I like.
Yeah,
Which one did you do?
we were on Celebrity, which is like part of Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
So it was Celebrity Cruises. It was cool. It was great. Like I would recommend it, but I think I'm just not a cruiser. I think I
Okay.
like to travel more like and do not like t all the touristy things. Like it's fun to do those things, but I
Yeah.
want to do like more.
Yeah, it's a very particular thing to do. Yep,
Hmm.
yep, I understand. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make sure I'm here like 1 to 2 times a month so I get to touch base with everybody. I kind of have dropped the ball on like reminding people what our theme is. So I want to send out communication more often and be in the chat more often. So I do get to at least talk with you online, even if I'm not here during these weeks. But yeah, I have a couple. I think what we should do, because there's only two of you so far, is we should do the updates, the KPI updates. And I had the
There's
idea.
some stickers too.
Oh,
I
I
saw the
sure.
sticker.
That's okay. I didn't know where it was coming from. That's okay. I'm like, oh, there's more. No, no worries, no worries. Um, let's go. I want to hear how things have been going for you this month and updates. And then I have like somewhat of a formula to share with you to get to do a little bit of practice on overcoming objections. But I think why I'm saying I dropped the ball is like I want it to be more like announce that we have a workshop and kind of tell people it's going to be a different type of session. But I think why not like start with the content now so you two can learn this formula, get a little bit of practice, and then I can make a one session where it's a completely different format, again in July. That's my, I don't know. Did you know that we were maybe going to did Karen mention last week that we might focus on a particular topic this week?
She mentioned like how we would feel about doing different workshops, like each practice, like sharing their specific like something they're specifically good at and
Yeah.
telling everyone else how they do things. Maybe she did mention it and I just missed it. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, no, that is a I she told me that the other week and I think that what do you guys that's a little bit different than what I was thinking of. I was thinking of today just like focusing on one topic, which is actually like overcoming objections to booking an intake session.
Mhm.
Um, but what do you guys think of that like that idea about kind of that Karen brought up about bringing strategies from your practice?
I think it's a good idea. I mean, there's bound to be different things that each practice it has more strength in. So I think it's a good idea to learn from each other what ways work for each practice and stuff. I was also mentioning to Karen, like we're a women-centered practice, so I don't know if like the way that we do things is different because our clients tend to be more like female, and maybe that's different than approaching things with like male clients. So, like
That's an
learning how to do that when we do have male clients who call, things like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting point too. And I think yeah, I think that's why I want to also join like on those days too when we're doing sort of like a focus spotlight on one person's practice and strategy because I can see that there's a lot of benefit that people want to kind of borrow philosophies or learn about other policies to see how that would fit in at a different practice. Yeah. Great. Cool. Good, good, good. So then no, then let's just go with the flow today then. Yeah. And Maria, was there anything from last week or the week before that you wanted to make sure we talk about today?
Um, I think we're all good. I just noticed that last week there was an increase in inquiries for couples therapy. So I'm not
Oh.
sure why. It looks like it has been a like a collective issue for everyone.
Interesting. That is very, maybe people have more time now because it's the summer that they can
Yeah.
coordinate their schedules, maybe.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I
interesting.
was thinking too.
Yeah, that is really interesting. Um, and so let's start with you, Maria. Do you have KPIs to share? Do you want to share
Yep,
your
I
screen?
do.
Okay,
Let me just pull up my screen.
cool.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So for last week, we currently have sorry, I'm not sure if this is the
Well,
right
I can't see
thing.
the top of it. Yeah, now I can see the
Yeah,
top. Mm-hmm.
there. We currently have 29 new opportunities, including two from the wait list. 20 intakes have been booked with six already completed. Um, Let me just see. Three were converted to clients, 20 were marked as lost. These people are mostly out of network, which is why
Okay.
they're marked as lost. 19 were added
Mm.
to the wait list. And let me see.
Oh.
Nine were booked, six were complete, and 13 were converted from the wait
Wow,
list.
your wait list is still a good funnel for new intakes for you.
Yes, and we also have a new clinician starting on July 21st. So we are expecting to be able to schedule more clients in the coming weeks.
Okay, great. That's very cool. Yeah, do you, and this looks like a really good percentage. Like if I were to imagine what the percentage is, could you scroll up to like in intakes booked? So you have in two CD, like line 17, you've or line 16, you've got 20 booked. And then below that, you have nine from the wait list booked, which is like 29 out of 88, which is like a very good percentage.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Um, I'm looking forward to to get everyone scheduled at least before the summer ends because I know that after the summer, some people may have limited availability. So I'm really hoping to get them scheduled as soon as possible.
That's great. Yeah, can you scroll over, even though I know I don't think Danny put in goals, I just want to see the percentage. Like, can you scroll over to the monthly goals?
Oh, this one
I
or
think
the
there should
other?
be one right before the quarterly goals. If you scroll before the quarterly goal, is there? No?
Um,
Where did the monthly go? What if you scroll the other way?
let me check.
Uh,
I'm not sure where to
yeah, no
look.
problem. I'm just gonna I can do, let me do the math. If we had, because you have 29, so you have you have 29, so 20 for the month.
Oh, I think this is the one that
There it
we were
is.
talking about.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. So if you go to June, yeah, 30, see line 14, 33% of everyone that came in was booked for an intake, which is great. Like
Yeah,
that's a pretty high, nice percentage. I know at passages the goal is at least 30. Is that right? That you shoot for, and you've exceeded it though, Lindsay. Do you shoot
I
for
think so, yeah. I don't have exactly like this chart because Karen does it, but I'm
right?
looking at like our dashboard. So I could give you like some things, but probably not everything.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's okay. But
But
Maria, I
yeah,
think that
so
that is, oh, we can see your email now, Maria.
sorry.
That's all right. That's all right, just in case it had PHI. But that's a good percentage. I just wanted to show you that does even though there's no goal in there, like that's where the percentage is converted over for the month. Um, Out of those 88, you had 29 bucks, which is great.
Yep, and our goal is to exceed what we hit last month. I'm not sure if this is feasible because last month I think we had 54%.
That is true. You do have 54% from last month. That is very high. Now that you point that out. That was with the wait list in, look, you got 22 from the wait list. Yeah. Okay. Well, the game is on. We shall see. I don't know if everyone in this group knows, but Maria won the contest for the waitlist contest in May. So Maria booked the most people from the waitlist. And then this month it's about conversion to see if you could do 3% more than last month. But that's funny, Maria, because you took so many people off the wait list, your percentage was so high last month that it
I
might be
know.
unrealistic to beat it this month. But that is okay. It's all in the service of getting more people intakes. Yes. Hey, Gloria, I saw you pop in. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
I can.
good. Sorry, I'm multitasking right now. I was like, oh shoot, I got a meeting and I got another one right after this.
Oh, no worries. No, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you're here.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
That is totally fine. Yeah, we're going around for updates right now.
Right, I'm doing that right now.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so we'll call on you last, like third. We'll
Okay,
call on you
thank
third.
you. Okay.
Yeah. And Maria, do you have any other updates from this month or week? Headlines that you want to share?
Um, Aside from the new collision starting from July 21st or on July 21st, I don't think we have any um new updates in our practice that's going on. It's basically just the normal routine,
Hmm.
like the number or we have a number of new inquiries and we're trying our best to book them as soon as possible.
Okay. And that I think that's a big update that you have another clinician starting for sure. And
Yes. Mhm.
yeah. And also, I know your practice is going to be switching to Admira in July. So we can definitely, like, I would encourage you and also anyone, I think the three of you will be switching in July, your practices, to come to the orientations too, if possible, or watch the videos. Because I was thinking, do you have any questions? But like I feel like there are going to be a lot of questions when your practices start implementing on that platform. So that just reminded me to say we can meet together outside of this, all about that, all about Admira, which is going to obviously play into the intake process. Just a headline for everyone. Um, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can we go to Lindsay? Do you want to give us your headlines? Even if you don't have the numbers, that's okay.
Yes. So first week I do it by week and then I'd say the month. Is that right?
Uh, First you do it by week. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for this week, we've had 9 total opportunities or like journeys.
Mm-hmm.
And then of those, I believe there were 3 intakes booked. And then one that like went
Okay.
the
Yeah.
intake attendance.
Yeah. Completed intake. Yeah.
What are some of the other?
That's that's it. Like typically how many how many marked as lost and if any went on the wait list. But
Okay, there was no one on the wait list, and then for lost, I just switched it to the month, so let me go back to week.
okay.
It says no data available, so I guess I didn't. I
Yep.
don't know.
Maybe there
And
was
then,
that's that one we can just do anecdotally. Like if you have so you had 9 new people this week and you booked one or you booked
mhm,
a few and then one completed the intake.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And then for the month, total was 34. And then of that 34, there were 16 booked.
Cool.
Current clients converted from the wait list, it says 2, but I feel like that might not be accurate.
Okay.
Um,
How long is your wait list?
I would say there's probably between like 15 to 20 people on there, but a lot of them are looking for in-network, which we don't have any availability for right now. So they've kind of been sitting on there for a while. So it's been tough because it's not really a matter of like scheduling, it's a matter of like the clinicians we have not having openings who are in network. And we try to like keep
Yeah.
it like a 50-50 balance between in-network and out-of-network just because like the reimbursement rates are different. So
Okay, so they're on that wait list because they're waiting for in-network. They're waiting for a
mhm.
clinician that like, and so you really can't predict when that clinician will open up will have a spot open, right?
Yeah, that matches with their availability, which is usually in the evenings. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot like it's kind of tough. There have been people who have been sitting there for like months because we just
Mm-hmm.
don't have in-network in the evenings.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Okay. Well, I think that's helpful with your numbers. So I think that's a good amount of things to look at. For anyone that was marked as lost or for anyone that you talked to that didn't move forward, was there like a common reason that you've been hearing this month?
Yeah, definitely insurance.
Okay.
And if not insurance, unresponsive.
Got it. And when you say insurance, is it that they have insurance, but there isn't a clinician open who takes it?
It's either that they have insurance and they're not comfortable going out of network with their insurance, like their
Okay.
deductible is too high, it would be too expensive, or they only want to do in network. Or they do have, we are considered in network, but we don't have any clinicians with availability.
Okay. Yep. That makes perfect sense. I have that is actually one of the hardest objections to like I call it objection because that's like a sales word. But that's just the best word I have. That's like one of the hardest like reasons or objections that people have because if they do possess insurance, it's not that they don't have insurance. They
Yeah.
do and then it doesn't line up with what you have. They're almost always gonna go look somewhere else, and who can blame them?
Mhm.
But I will give a little formula today of a like sandwich sentence that you like can you ask in the spirit of like you might as well try. Like there's no harm in asking, giving them one other option. Um,
Mhm.
but that is one of the toughest ones. Like, yeah, I think availability is a little bit. sort of more, if it's not about insurance and it's just about availability, it can be more of like a back and forth negotiation or
Mhm.
volleyball about, well, could you come here? Could you come then? Could you?
Yeah.
But then when it comes to insurance, it's one of the toughest ones to say something back to, but I can give some thoughts on that. It sounds like you're doing great. If you've got that sounds like around 50% are getting booked, which is really cool. Like 18 out of 34. I don't know if my math is
I,
exact.
yeah, I don't know how accurate, like, I don't know if what I was looking at is what Karen looks at. I'll have
That's
to ask her, like, how to do it so that next time I'm actually prepared. I apologize.
okay. No, we'll get the monthly summary that next time. Yeah, that's good. Like because the month is closing, so I'm sure she'll fill it in and then you'll have that one more week and we can look backwards. Any other headlines for your practice? Questions or updates?
I don't think so. Things have honestly been very slow this week. Probably because like summer is coming, school's coming to an end, people are busy, but hopefully it picks up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
typical. That's the same for our office. Anytime it's summertime, vacations, yeah, nobody's
Yeah.
interested in their well-being during the summertime.
Okay. Yeah. Because there's so much vitamin D.
That's why
Yeah.
I would probably fall into that category. So,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah, unless it's super humid, I am outside in the sun as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, but is that yeah, how has it been going at your so it's been slow, Gloria.
It's been
How, what else, what other updates do you have?
it's actually it's been can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's actually been okay. We've been receiving referrals, so they're coming in. So total new opportunities, 25. No one's been on our wait list as of right now. Um, got 27 there. My intake's booked. We
Wow,
completed,
25 in the week. Yeah, that's a bunch.
yes, yes, and then completed 11. Then as you see, converted our clients to 5, and we lost 1.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and this is for the first half of the month, right? So
Mhm.
so there's even one you could probably
Oh, it's this week. Sorry about that.
that's okay. You
I did
don't
the
have
wrong week. Okay.
Oh, are those numbers in column two?
They go here.
Okay, perfect. So then you
Yeah,
can just copy them over there and
sure will.
because they're cumulative anyway. But when you have the time, you can go back and
I'll fill those in.
yeah, fill them in for
Thank
like
you.
up to the 15th. Got it. No, no
Okay.
worries. That makes total sense.
Yeah, just it's I mean it's slow, but it's moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do you know anything about you got your practice switching to Admira? Have have you heard about any updates or ideas?
I've been doing the boot camp.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So,
I didn't know you were
they're
on the
very
list.
yeah, they're very helpful. I'm looking forward to our meeting here shortly. So,
Oh, perfect.
yeah,
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love how everything you can navigate through it. All the little, to be honest with you, I like it better than practice access.
Well, good.
Only,
That's what I wanted.
yes, just because like I know practice access does so much, but I just feel like there's so much little things to get to
Yeah.
versus Admir. I just feel like it's more in a cleaner way. Like, oh, I just click this and there it is. So
Oh,
yeah,
good.
I
Good.
love the task and the note part. That's probably
Oh, I'm
my
so
favorite.
glad to hear
That's
that.
probably my favorite part.
Okay, cool. I'm
Yeah.
so glad to hear that. Yeah.
Yes.
I I mean that's rather than like there's so many extra clicks in practice access rather than like re optimizing and taking time to rebuild it. This is just a nice combination that you get
Very much so. Very much so. Yes.
all yeah.
Excited. Very excited.
Good. And the only reason I'm bringing that up in this group is because I know it impacts intake, and this is the month. Sorry, we're not in July yet, but my head is already thinking about July.
Yeah.
Like July is the month that is the last month people can be on practice access. So I think it's just naturally going to come up in this group a bit.
Okay.
Glad to hear that. And we do have
Yes.
an orientation immediately after this, so I have to
Yeah.
stop exactly at the hour.
Yes.
Okay. And I know a few weeks ago you went to a wellness expo. Did you get any like leads from that, or have there been any other like
No, not
marketing
right
efforts?
now. We haven't received much. I mean, we do have somebody else in the office, so maybe she picked up a call and maybe didn't relate that information to me, but that's okay. But on my end, no, haven't really seen any of what that wellness expo
Okay. Well,
clients, prospects, potentials, anything. Yeah.
got it. Yeah. I'm just wondering about that. Or any other areas that you are stuck or questions or kind of smooth sailing right now?
It's pretty much smooth sailing right now, Barrett.
Okay, good. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah. The things like the Wellness Expo, sometimes they serve to build awareness and build a brand. So you can't really measure always how many people, they don't necessarily like give you a numeric value of the ROI for going to the Wellness Expo, but because like you may have influenced a bunch of people who now will recognize the name of your practice when they need therapy, but you don't always get that tangible like result immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's a good thing to do for exposure.
Of course.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I was saying before you came on, Gloria, that I was planning to make this into more of a workshop on overcoming objections. And so I have a formula to share with everybody, so we
Okay.
could practice that a bit. But is there anything else that was on your mind, Gloria? Or
Not at this time.
okay, cool, cool. So let's hop into that. The when when I say I have a sales background. Like even though I studied psychology and theater, I ended up in the sales world for a long time. And there is this urgency in sales to enroll people or sign people up. No matter what, it's just all about quantity, quantity. How many can we get signed up? How much money can we make, right? Which
Right.
is not the same in mental health. So in mental health, like I would argue it's unethical to sign as many people as you can up
Oh,
if
for
you,
sure.
right? Like if you don't have those spots on the, if even if you have the spots on the calendar, if it's not a good fit, mm-mm. So it's a little different. The what I want to offer you today is like an alternative to just as soon as they say, "Oh, I don't want to do virtual, I want to do in person." Okay, sorry about that. I can refer you out or, try back. I can put you on the wait list or try back when we are accepting having in person. Instead of just hanging up immediately in a friendly way, like the what I want to offer everyone today is a way to kind of encourage them one more time and then just see what happens. This and that's different than sales when you're just like trying to get the person to sign up and you ask again and then you ask another way and you keep asking. I'm thinking about this more in the spirit of, and I know I've probably said this before, but only when the criteria is in your mind and your heart that you have a good therapist on the team that would fit this person's need. And the person is saying that time is not going to work for me. Okay, I just can't do that time. It's not going to work. So, how would you, instead of just saying, like, deferring to that person and hanging up and ending the call, I want to give you one more thing you can say, knowing that probably still won't change their mind. But let's say you had like 10 people who said that time just does not work. I cannot do it if it's not the evenings. Okay. And then you use this formula that I'll tell you now, just one more way to ask and encourage them just one more time. And nine of those people are still like, that's still not going to work for me. Okay, we'll put you on the wait list or we'll get in touch if it opens up in the future. But one person might say, "Oh, okay, I'm open to trying that." And like that's what we're going for. Like this is how specific this technique is that I don't want you to think that I'm going to give you sort of like a objection sandwich, like four different things you can say at once to ask and encourage again, but I am not delusional like that I think this is going to change everybody's mind. I just want you guys to know that up front. So I'm
Okay.
not saying like if you say this, they're all automatically going to say, "Oh, of course, I don't mind doing virtual after I just told you I will not do virtual." But I think with this formula I'll share, you could encourage some people who were on the fence or who, might be open to looking at it a different way and are really tired of calling a million therapists and not getting booked. It may help. I am sure it would help at least, 10%, 10 or 20 more percent of the people. So I just want you to have some language to play with around that. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes, it does. Of course.
Okay. Just so everyone doesn't think I'm like coming in here saying you're gonna change everyone's mind with these four phrases. But sometimes it's like the therapist is a good match, and I want you to take this. I'm presenting this with the spirit of like you know the it's as if you have a friend that's doing something that she's not doing something that would actually be really good for her to do. And you might
Mhm.
just say one more time, like, you know what? I can see why this would be really good. Are you sure you don't want to do this? Or are you
Mhm.
sure you won't do this? So that kind of spirit of encouraging a friend to do something that is actually good is the spirit I'm presenting this with, not the spirit of like book as many intake sessions as you
Of
possibly.
course not. Yeah, no, you have a very I like the way that you're saying this because that's exactly how it is. It's I guess you could say it's your sell pitch, you know? So you
Yeah,
gotta it's
it's
just it really is.
yeah, and it's modeled after a sales pitch, but converted away from a sales pitch. Really,
Exactly.
yeah. So, okay, so a couple of things. The the I went around last time and asked everyone, or two sessions ago, like kind of what your most common objections are. And I'm gonna read them off. Like Lindsay said, they have insurance, they don't want to go out of network, and there are no in-network therapists at your practice that take their insurance, right? There's that. There's also the only option for them is to wait or private pay, right? If they stayed at your practice. Then they don't want to do virtual. They're really stuck on, or they don't want to do in person, but it's probably more likely they don't want to do virtual. They're stuck on that, which is valid. And then there's the availability, like the time of day does not work. They don't want to take their kids out of school in the middle of the day, um, or they're just not getting back to you. I think the other one is besides unresponsive, the fourth one would be they're very committed to seeing a certain therapist who has a really long wait list and they don't want to see a different therapist. Did I miss anything else come to
Nope,
mind?
those are it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the formula that I like to use, my like slideshow is very like it's got very big letters, so just bear with the formatting of it here. The formula that I like, am I sharing my whole screen? Yeah. Okay. That I like to use is reflect back their feelings and let them know that they are heard, which I'm sure all of you do very naturally. Remind them about why they told you earlier in the call they were seeking therapy or what was on their form. And then link that to the specific value that your practice or that a clinician provides. So just reiterating what they said and reminding them what they said and linking that to the clinician's specialty or the value. And then this one is really important. Then one more time, prompt them to see if they would be willing to book the session. So what it might look like is like, Lindsay, I totally understand how you feel. I totally understand how you feel. I also would be hesitant about virtual sessions as well. But you did tell me earlier that you're struggling with grief, and I know that Stephanie on our team is really amazing with has had a lot of success with people who are struggling with grief and they continue to see her, even though it is virtual. Would you be open to, how open would you be to trying a virtual session for intake? And I'll make some notes for the therapist that that's not your first preference. So that would be a way, like I just did that off the top of my head, but I sort of make it like all a string of sentences leading up to asking one more time about that spot. But I'm following those four levels in my head. Does that make sense as an example?
It does.
Okay. And I know with every situation it's a little bit different. Like I used virtual availability, there might be different.
Yeah.
So the first one is reflect back their feelings. I bet you all are great at this. But there are three ways you can reflect back their feelings if we're gonna get like, because you're already great at this, if we're gonna get now one level more ninja on this, there's three ways to do it. I hear you, I understand what you're saying, or I can relate, I would feel the same way. So I hear you, like I hear that you've called 17 places and you're really tired of hearing no, or I can relate. It would be like, I would also be annoyed if I had called 17 places and I didn't hear anything. Or I spoke to someone who felt the same. I know a lot of people who call in have been calling around a lot of places. And so I know that that's frustrating. So those are three ways to like reflect back feelings. Um, the next one is reminding them of why they were coming in, why they told you they're calling. And this is the one where you'd want to use their exact words. Like, not interpret why you think they're calling or why you think they filled out the form, but but just literally saying back what they told you so that you're not like reflecting it back like it's more severe. Like if they said, I'm frustrated because I've been calling around, and you said, I know you're super annoyed because you've been calling around. Well, maybe they didn't say they were super annoyed. Maybe they just said they were frustrated, you know? So this second one is kind of just
I
really
probably would have rolled to my side if that was said.
like if you
Very.
were that person who heard
Yes.
that back.
I would have been, no way, hanging up the phone right away.
Yeah, but why? Why would that turn you off?
Will be you I think it's right away the professionalism.
Mm.
Yeah. So she kind of I that's just the way I view that.
Like if I said I know you're super annoyed,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if the point of this like thought exercise is like don't make it worse than they said it was, and don't
Mm-hmm.
diminish how severe they said it was. Like
It,
kind of just saying what they said to you.
just yes, just understanding what they're saying. That's yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if I said I'm super pissed off, you probably wouldn't say back to me, I hear that you're super pissed off.
Exactly. I'm
That's
gonna
what,
roll to my side about that. Like, no.
so what would you say instead if a client literally said, I've called
Said
17 places, I'm super pissed off.
yeah, I'm like, no, I understand how frustrating that could be for you.
Like,
Hmm.
right. Yeah, you could tone it down a little. That's the
Yeah,
thing. If people come at you with negativity, you don't want to like match the
you
negativity.
do not. You do not.
Yeah, but just saying that you heard them could be a very,
It
very,
goes so far. It goes where it books the client.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So would the three of you be open to if I just say one line and you just reflect back to me that you heard me and that you reflect back my reason for calling?
Okay.
Would you mind if we try
Yeah,
that?
let's do that.
Okay. So earlier in the call, I told you that um, I'm feeling angry in my marriage a lot. Like so earlier in the call when you said, why are you, what can we help you with today? Why are you
What
calling?
brings you in? Yeah.
Like, yeah, what brings me? So I earlier in the call, I said I'm feeling angry in my marriage a lot. So now I want the Friday at 5 p.m. slot, and it's not available for the couples therapy. So I will just say, Gloria. So you got that? I'm feeling angry in my marriage a lot.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I gotcha.
So you told me the couples th Friday at 5 is not available. Okay, well, we can't do any other time. That's Friday at 5 is not, I mean, sorry. We can't do any other time than Friday evening, so no, Tuesday's not going to work for me. So now you just do part one and part two, reflect back, and then remind me of why I was calling.
Okay.
Okay, Tuesday's not going to work for me. I need Friday at 5. That's the only
Yeah.
time we can do it.
Okay. I hear you. I understand I understand what you're coming in for and that you're needing marriage counseling. Um, we do not have Friday at 5 o'clock available, but what I can do, let me get you in, let me get you started, because there's a big possibility there could be a cancellation. In the event that that were to happen, we can reach back out to you right away and let you know that there's an opening for Friday at 5.
Very good for way to jump in, Gloria. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That yeah, so let me break it down. Like the let me see if I would do anything different. That was like I just that was pretty good. So if we're using the formula, which is like pretty unnatural, right? And someone you said I hear you, right? And it's kind of hard because we're not in the conversation, but you said I hear you. Um, you know, like one thing you could say is, I hear that you want Friday at 5, that Friday at 5 p.m. works best.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can understand why you would want a Friday evening appointment. Makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or I talk to a lot of people that want Fridays at
Mm-hmm.
5. Like that,
Yes.
yeah. But you did say, I hear you, understand. And then the next part is, you told me you were angry in your marriage a lot of the time, or you're feeling frustrated in your marriage a lot of the time. So that would be the little thing I would insert before I say, I recommend the other option.
Okay.
So maybe it's not fair to ask you to do this without the other like four parts, three and four. But
No.
that was a good exercise. I appreciate you
Mm-hmm.
jumping in.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go to let's try this same thing again, and I'm going to try to come up with another scenario. Um, like Lindsay, do you want to hop in and try? Or
Yeah.
Brooke? Okay. And so let's say I want to, so let me think about this. So let's take it to step three this time, because I think it's also a little hard because I had Gloria do one and two. So let's take it to step three, where it's like you reflect back, you remind me why I'm calling, and then you mention a clinician or someone that specializes in exactly what I am calling about. If
Mhm.
you feel like you have somebody who does. Okay. So I told you earlier in the call that I'm struggling with postpartum, because I know your practice specializes in that. I'm struggling with postpartum, and like, I really want to come in on Saturdays. I can't come in during the week. So then you told me that you only have a spot during the week. So got it?
Okay.
I told you I'm
Yes.
struggling with postpartum.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so then the step three is like acknowledging why they're coming in, and then step four is like offering some kind of solution.
Oh, yeah, let me
Okay.
put this. So let's just do reflect back. One, two, remind me why I'm calling in, and then link my issue to a particular value or unique thing that your office, that clinician can help with. Link the way the clinician can help to my problem.
Okay, and I'm doing three and four, or am I
You don't
doing all
have to
four?
do four.
Oh, I'm just doing three.
Yeah, you're doing
Okay.
2 and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
A one, two, three. Okay.
1, 2.
Okay,
So,
so
so I
it's
will say I'm struggling with postpartum. I told you earlier. I can't do anything during the week on I need a Saturday appointment.
okay.
So it's not gonna work.
Okay. I understand that you have limited availability during the week and it might be hard to find a time that works for you. You had told me that you're struggling with postpartum. I do have a clinician I feel would be a good fit for you who has more flexibility in her schedule with the opportunity for an appointment to open up on the weekend.
Awesome. That
Is
was
that
the
something
3.
you'd be interested in? Okay.
Oh, wait, and
It's
then
like
you
hard to do it, not live.
Lindsay, you have the perfect voice to do this. You really
Thanks.
do, because it's really has to be soft with therapy. Your voice is perfect.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, that, yeah,
That's so kind.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I felt like you were hearing me, like when you reflected back, that you literally just said what I told you. Like you said, I understand you have limited availability during the week and Saturday is better for you. That and so then I was engaged. And then you said you told me you were struggling with postpartum. And then that also, even though this was a fake scenario, that also like perked my ears up like, oh yeah, yep, mm-hmm. And then you said, and it was very smooth. Like, and then you said, I have a clinician that specializes in that who has availability. So really good job, like jumping in and going through 1 through 3, just off the bat. And if I would say anything in particular that I would change about, like if I could sharpen that up, I might say I have a clinician who specializes in postpartum. Like like making like I know that Stephanie, I'm just making up a clinician's name. I
Mhm.
know that Stephanie specializes in postpartum and works a lot with women who are going through postpartum like you are.
Hmm.
She actually has some flexibility. It won't be on Saturday, but she could do that during the week. Would you be willing to hop in and not hop in? Oh my God, someone just came in the waiting room and so I said hop in. Yeah, would you be willing to book during the week until her schedule changes? That's
I
good.
think more often than not, that's how the conversation goes. I just
Yeah,
think I felt nervous
you're fine.
Yeah.
on the
No,
spot,
you did great.
but that was worded very well there.
Yes.
Yay!
Thank
This
you.
is like,
Yes.
isn't it? It's, I so appreciate the two of you jumping in, and
Uh-huh.
I want to give Maria a chance to jump in. Like, it's not easy to
No,
do this outside of a live context.
no, it's not.
It is literally like, what is it like? It's like when you have to do squats, like, and you do squats over and over and over again just to make sure like you when you sit down you don't pull your back, or when you go to like pick something up you don't pull, but it is like an artificial scenario where you kind of train so that you're a little bit stronger or quicker or sharper when you have that tricky scenario, like when you have someone on the phone, or maybe so that you could do it all day and not get tired. You know what I mean? Because if you have these kind of conversations all day, if you have this formula like in your mind, then it can just it maybe it's less stressful or less mental work to think about like, okay, I really feel like they just want to hang up the phone, but I want to ask, I have to ask one more time. That's my thought about this. So someone came in the waiting room and all it said was iPhone, so I didn't let that person in because I think they could be for the orientation.
Oh, okay.
Just FYI, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be someone just testing the link. Cool, amazing reflecting back. Um, So yeah, so that's really about like reminding them. I want to give you the chance to try, Maria. Are you ready to, are you willing to hop in and give it a go with
Yep.
no expectations, no pressure? Awesome. Um, it's really about mentioning what they said to you and then mentioning why that therapist works with exactly what they said to you. You know, um, yeah, any sort of good match. So let me think. Okay, so Maria, let's also do one, two, and three. Like you stay back, reflect back. And I'll say that I told you earlier in the call that my 8-year-old is really having trouble making friends. And now you told me that there's no after school spots. Should we do this one? Yes. Yeah, you told me that there's no after school spots. Um, and my 8-year-old is really having trouble making friends, and that's why I'm looking for a child therapist. Does that sound good? Do you
Yeah.
see children at your practice?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
So normally I would just say that I would thank them for calling. Thank you for sharing this. It sounds like you're feeling really concerned and maybe a bit overwhelmed, seeing your child struggle to make friends. Unfortunately, we don't have an after school spot right now, but wait.
No, that's okay. No,
But
that-
we'd love to support you in this journey. And would you be open to start with like a parent intake? Because if it's a child, we normally offer or the first session would be with a parent only. So what we do is that we offer the parent intake session through telehealth, and then afterwards they will figure out scheduling with a clinician.
okay. Above and beyond. You went overboard there. You gave even more info. Very good. Cool. So how did that feel? How did that feel when I was like, how did it feel to have to reflect back those feelings for the parent?
I'm Well, this is actually like a normal scenario for us. So
Okay.
I yeah, that's what we usually tell them when they reach out without openings. So
Okay.
sorry.
So you like yeah, because I could tell you have that kind of like the options for them are really well thought out in your head. I could tell you maybe you say that a lot. Let me think if there's anything I would say if I set like if there's anything I would give you to kind of practice that um, in a different way, reflecting back what I said. So I don't want to go like my child is having trouble making friends. I know what it was. So you said, thank you for calling. So I'm frustrated because I don't want to take my kid out of school. So maybe the first thing to say is like, I understand you don't want to take your kid out of school. The other, th and then when I said my child's having trouble making friends, I would say try linking that to a therapist that actually helps with kids who have trouble making friends or who works really well with kids. Do you know what I mean? That's the only part that I missed was like you telling me that the therapist who's available in the middle of the day, that they actually work with the problem I'm calling in about. So can we back up one more time and try it one more time?
Um yeah, so I understand that you wanted something or you wanted something that is after school and sorry.
Perfect.
I got
That's
lost.
number one. Yeah, that's number one. I understand you wanted something that's after school. Yep. And my child is having trouble making friends. So just let me know, remind me of that. And there's a therapist on your team that can help with that.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're feeling really concerned and maybe a bit worried seeing your child struggle to make friends. Um, okay. So
And
that's
then
number two, right?
that's number two. Yep. And then the therapist who's available, they're only available in the middle of the day, but they're really good with kids who
Yeah, and I feel that there's a clinician that would match perfectly with your child. I can offer you a parent intake session in the during the day, and then after that, you can talk to your clinician about the possibility of scheduling your child after school hours. You just have to discuss that with them during the intake.
cool. Cool. Isn't it weird to have this formula in your mind?
Yeah, but I'll
But
take note of that definitely.
yeah, but listening to that, I felt like you heard me and like the rather than going right to the logistics, you also said, actually, this therapist that I have, I can't remember exactly what you said, but works really well with kids who have trouble making friends. So that's, I think, like my one thing that I would change is like inserting that reason that matches why they were calling.
Yep.
Yeah, totally difficult exercise. Totally. Did that like did you hear that more like on the last time like Lindsay and Gloria did it sort of like come together on the last time?
Yeah, of course it did. It was great. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
it's so crazy. I like this is such a crazy exercise. That's why I think it's a really fun way to like stretch outside our comfort zone. And if it helps you get one more person persuaded or encouraged to, take a spot that's inconvenient, but is really going to get them the mental health care they need, then it's kind of worth the going out of the comfort zone to ask that in that different way. That's what I think. So, I appreciate the three of you. Really, it's really good jumping in there. Really, I think the work you do is so hard, and these conversations are so routine and then also unexpected all day, every day. So I hope that was helpful and gave you at least a little thing to practice throughout next week. I will write these things up. Everybody needs to make it their own. So even like actors that follow the exact same script, they still get on stage and like have a totally unique character, right? So if you are following the way you have a couple lines that you say at your practice or a little bit of a formula for how you respond to people, it takes like weeks or months before some new thing feels like authentic to you. So I will give you a little write-up of this language and strategies so that you you don't have to say it to me. You can just practice it real time with the real people on the phone. Sound good?
Good, Barrett. Thank you so much. Great exercise.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for entertaining, like indulging me in this practice. Maria and Lindsay and Gloria, you are awesome.
Yes. All right. See you in a bit.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.